Case for the Hall of Fame, Pierre Turgeon. This is a new series on my channel where I'll be making a case for NHL players who aren't in the Hall of Fame as a worthy inductee. In this episode, I'll be making the case for Pierre Turgeon as a Hall of Fame worthy player. First, I must discuss why Turgeon is not in the Hall of Fame, despite being a Hall of Fame worthy player. 1. He never won a Stanley Cup. 2. He played for 6 different teams, so it made it tough for fans and the media to associate him with one team. Pierre Turgeon is one of those players who flies under the radar tremendously when talking about the all-time greats, but his credentials indicate he should be in the Hall of Fame. Over a 19-year career, Turgeon played with 6 organizations, including the Buffalo Sabres, St. Louis Blues, New York Islanders, Montreal Canadiens, Dallas Stars, and Colorado Avalanche. The center remains at the top of the non-inducted players list with 1,327 points in 1,294 games played, and no one has more points than Turgeon that is not already in the Hall of Fame. Turgeon was a point-per-game player in his career with well over 1,000 NHL games played and was a model of consistency throughout his career. He was also part of the 500 goal club, lighting the lamp 515 times in his career. This is especially interesting when compared to Daniel Alfredsson, who was recently inducted and didn't even reach 500 goals. Turgeon also happens to have 170 points more than Alfredsson, which really makes you question what the NHL is looking for in their Hall of Fame inductees. Obviously, the biggest criticism of Turgeon's career was that he never won a Stanley Cup. However, when looking at his playoff production, he clearly wasn't the issue because in 109 playoff games, Turgeon managed to tally 35 goals and 62 assists for a total of 97 career postseason points. The Hall of Fame should be celebrating the game's best players regardless of if they won anything or not. A lot of excellent players never won a Stanley Cup, so it shouldn't dent their resume. It's not Turgeon's fault that his prime was wasted on some bad teams, and by the end of his career, he went from a great playmaking center in St. Louis to trying to chase a ring with Dallas and Colorado. In 2022, players like the Sedin twins and Daniel Alfredsson, who never won a Stanley Cup and have significantly less offensive production than Turgeon, made the Hall of Fame. The Sedin twins and Alfredsson are in the Hall of Fame because they all played in the Canadian market and they were fixtures on Team Sweden. As for Turgeon, he played for 6 different NHL teams despite being very successful, and he was never selected to represent Team Canada internationally other than that World Junior team in 1987. The 1992-93 season proved to be the best of Turgeon's career when he tallied 58 goals, 74 assists, and 132 points in 83 games with the New York Islanders. He also put up 6 goals and 13 points in 11 games during the 93 playoffs. Over the span of his career, Turgeon has been one of the best players at his position and was the best player on his team for 12 to 14 straight years. In 13 of his best seasons, Turgeon was in the top 10 total points amongst centers for 7 seasons and in the top 15 for 12 seasons. Of all the players who are not in the Hall of Fame yet, Pierre Turgeon stands out because he is the only player who has over 500 goals and over 1,300 points, but is not a member of the Hall of Fame. The 2022 Hall of Fame class was his 12th year eligible to be awarded a seat in the Hall of Fame, but yet he was not selected. One would think that he'll receive the call in the coming years, since the top point scorer not in the Hall of Fame can't sit outside much longer.